I agree with both Councillors Dutz and Morris that this is an advisory thing. We're looking for advice, basically. Right. We're looking for good advice, and by nature of the profession, we're looking for some crackerjack people that can give us that advice. And I see them as not being a long term. I see them as being a short term. They might be potentially a standing committee that is inactive from time to time, but by nature of the beast, if they are as good as we hope they would be as advisors, they're going to be very busy. And this is something that they're going to be doing on their own time and not getting paid for it and so forth. And I would use as an example to that, I have spoken to Sheldon Storland about the possibility of possibly sitting on this committee. He at present is advising the BC Ferries commissioners on how to better operate the ferry system. Huge job, and that whole process is taking about 3 months. Well, I don't see our process requiring anything like that, but that's the sort of concept whereby someone will come in, or a group of people will come in and basically do an intensive look at what's going on, evaluate it, and then bring it back to us for advice to make the decisions. And I think that probably the time element will be something, and the time that they put in will be something that they themselves put forward as what's being possible.
I think I want to get back to Karen, but I think what we're talking about here is the makeup and the terms of reference for the committee, as opposed to what the committee should or should not do, or whether we should have a committee. That kind of. So I think the consensus is we should have a committee, that we work on the terms of references and the length of time, whatever. I just had a question for you. What's a crackerjack? No, I'm kidding. All right, Karen, go ahead.
Can I just interject one on that? Allison brought up some really good points. The one I want to focus on is the Allison proposed an either-or approach to giving the committee autonomy or have council do a lot of the work. Because they're not necessarily, but almost certainly, there will be significant policy decisions within the budget review analysis. So if you have a committee working autonomously, they can't really deal with a lot of policy stuff.
No,
if
can I just,
sure.
I don't want to interrupt you, but what we're talking about here again is sort of going forward about the makeup of the committee, the terms of reference to the committee, and we really got to hear about the budget.
Okay.
So if we could just hold that thought.
Sure.
Karen.
So I guess I'm still a little confused as to what we do about the budget for 2012, because we need to keep pushing that forward.
That's what
so is
we're
the
asking
intention, what I'm hearing, that this committee would be involved in the budget, or council should get the budget, we should keep moving on with that, and in the meantime the committee will look at the day-to-day operations and advise on that, independent of budget 2012 through 2016 that we're developing?
No, I think we need advisory help on the budget. I think that's what people have said here, and I think what we do need to hear about is the budget itself. So
I was just going to say, we're not waiting for a committee to be struck before anyone continues on. Time's of the essence here, so the budget process has to keep on moving forward. Committee or no committee.
That's my worry, is it feels like we've had this budget since October and we're kind of waiting with it, and in the meantime staff needs direction.
Keep going.
I had a quick procedural question. I think where you're going with this is to say time is of the essence. We need to establish the 212 through 216 budgets. Mm-hmm. Is there a chance for we have a committee that comes in and provides advice over 3 months, just say? Is there a possibility to have amendments to those budgets based on the results of that committee funding?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then I would say push it forward. And
Yeah,
Well, with
push forward.
one caveat on the amendments,
Yeah.
the budget that we pass by the end of April is what will set the tax rates. So once the tax rates are set, they can't be changed till the next year's tax rates come on. But the budget itself, you know, the mix up of what to spend the money on, and that sort of thing can be amended.
Other than my nervousness is that we're partway through the year, we've already spent it at the higher rate, which is the 2011 rate. And if we're gonna make decisions, we need to start making them soon, and that's my nervousness. I think the other thing I wanted to clarify is, can a committee advise staff? It has to be mayor and council advising staff.
That's correct, yeah. They would make recommendations to council, and council would take those recommendations and then direct staff.
That's where I was going with my line of thinking, is if you have them operating separately, then the time involved to get to the decisions is probably going to be longer.
The first point I made was that it shouldn't be oversight, it should be advisory, and I'm going to stick with that position. I think that's a position that we're all talking about, that the council makes the decisions, the committees give us advice, which we can follow or not follow. Karen, go back to the budget.
And just one more little, if I'm to be thinking about terms of reference, are you visioning maybe 3 council members and 3 community members,
We
something like
haven't made
that?
up our mind.
Okay, so what process would we do to make up our mind? How would we get to that point?
We're gonna get to that point in the next, whatever the 14th is, 5 days from now. Hopefully, we'll be able to work on terms of reference for this committee and various other committees, okay?
A matter of clarification, what's the timeline or what's the pressure right now to get the proposed budget completed or concluded?
Well, there's 2 pressures. One is we have to have it adopted by May 15th. So Councillor Morse's comment of April 30th is really what we need to think of, because we have to have 2 council meetings to get it adopted. So April 30th, let's just say. The other pressure is that if we make changes, we're already 4 months into the year. And so any changes that we make really only have 8 months of effect. But in the meantime, we're carrying on status quo.
But do I understand you correctly, we don't have to make a decision today or next week? Theoretically, we have until the end of April?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Quickly, because
In the end of April, sort of the drop dead date. I mean, there's time, we don't produce a 5-year financial plan even on a piece of paper in 5 minutes.
We don't require artificial respiration until March 30th. So is there tremendous urgency that we do nothing else but budget within the next 2 or 3 council meetings? Or can we say, well, by the end of January or mid-February, it's getting really tight? I don't want to get into frenzy when actually it may be tight, but not.
It depends if we accept the budgets that have been presented by the management team. That's what I'm outlining here for you. And that is accepted, then it's not urgent and we could do it by the end of April. But this is pointing out that we need a tax increase, and I know council has directed us not to have a tax increase. So that's the challenge, is what do we do about that?
And that's what you want to find out ASAP.
Right, and don't
Right.
deplete savings is the other
Okay.
direction. This depletes savings, so we're not following the direction of council at this point.
Okay, I would appreciate for myself, I'm sometimes not quite easy to understand what is, be bold, at least with me.
Say again?
Be bold in
Be
what
bold.
you really want. Don't be tactful or try to coach it. It's about folks, you have to make a decision. Then I get it.
Then you get
Okay, I got it.
it. You got it. Okay.
so let's get on with it.
Okay.